Hello everyone, welcome to episode 26 of this super awesome, amazing Osu Let's Play series. I get a lot of questions, by the way, asking why I laugh in the intro every time, and it's just because just the idea of Osu Let's Play was very funny to me ever since the first episode, so I was like, you know what, I just can't even do an intro without laughing. Anyway, in the last episode, we talked about auto method, and how it works, what it's useful for, and how to set it up, things like that. And in this episode, I want to talk about basically what types of maps you should play and what types of maps to avoid, sort of based on the different types of player that you want to be. So this is a topic suggestion that came in from BB in the comments of episode 20. Thank you for suggesting this topic. And if you who are listening right now, if you have a topic that you would want covered in a future episode, please leave it in the comments. I read all the comments on these episodes. So yes, I would much appreciate your suggestions. But yes, before we get into this episode, I also want to shout out that I live stream every single day over at twitch.tv/DigitalHypno. That will be linked in the description. But if you want to hang out with me or watch me play this game live, anything like that, would highly suggest to you stop by, say hello, and bonus points. If you tell me that you came from this Let's Play series, I'll be very happy to see you there. So yes, I have a couple maps picked out. I'm just gonna, basically, it's probably gonna be more of a chill type episode. Just gonna talk to you guys about the different kinds of maps. So I do want to mention I think it was episode 4, the episode named Discovery, where I talked about how to find different maps. Let me just get started. I talked about how you can use the Osu website to look for different maps. You can use search filters in the beatmap listing. So I would highly recommend checking out that episode. It'll be linked in the little card thingy or in the description. So yeah, but in general, so okay, let's try to categorize the different kinds of players that there are in this game. So I think there's like people who play to improve and people who play to just kind of have fun. I think those are pretty fair, like general categories of players. And yeah, let's talk about those who are playing for fun first. So personally, I'm of the opinion that I think like song choice is everything in this game. I think finding songs that you really enjoy and being able to discover songs that you enjoy through Osu is, I think, one of the most powerful things about this game. And I think the music is something that anyone can appreciate. I've heard people say that like when they watch like top Osu streams, like they don't really care about like how good the score is. I mean, obviously the gameplay is impressive, right? But it's more about, like if the streamer's not playing good songs, then it's sort of a turn. It can turn you away from the streams. So yeah, music choice. And personally, I value music choice a lot. I think if you ever watch my streams, I prioritize map quality based on like how much I like the song. You hear me describe songs as bangers a lot if I like the song, and I think that's important. So yeah, as far as what kinds of maps you should play, definitely find songs that you like. And of course, if you want some, I guess, tips on how to discover new maps, definitely check out that other Let's Play episode, yeah, called Discovery, like I mentioned earlier. And okay, so other than that, so let's talk a bit about improvement and like maps that you should play to improve. So challenging yourself like at your like skill cap is probably the best way to do it. I think usually the way that I describe it is like, let's say you're trying to, be able to lift heavier weights. Oh man, okay, this rhythm. Okay, did not realize there's a solo section here. Can you guys hear the game, by the way? Uh-oh. Let me make sure. So I think in the last episode, like over half of it was like not even audible, but anyway. Oh, okay, that's what I get for pausing. Yeah, but let's say you're trying to be able to lift heavier weights, then you don't want to like, okay, so the wrong way to do it is like try to lift a weight that's way too heavy for you and just like keep trying to lift it until like you can pick it up. That's really not how it works. So yeah, work your way up gradually in difficulty. That is, I think, the most key way to improve. I'm like, for some reason, so focused on holding the score, even though it doesn't matter. Okay, well, I deserve that one. I can't even think of what to say next. I'm just like, Osu. I'm playing Osu right now. That's so awesome. Um, okay, but yes, okay, I remember. So, always playing like around your like skill level. Oh, last note by the way. There's a rule of thumb that I like to give people, especially when I'm giving advice on how to improve, how to push your skill cap, things like that. I usually suggest, okay, so let me actually show you guys right now. I usually suggest playing maps that you get B ranks on, like around high B ranks. That's like the sweet spot of maps to push your skill cap. So I have my very appropriately named B rank collection here. So yeah, here, this is, okay, so personally, been using these maps to practice DT. Actually, a lot of these scores are pretty old, somewhat old. But anyway, this is, so what I would recommend is like playing maps that you get B ranks on and try to push those scores up until you get an A rank. And that's sort of the sweet spot of difficulty where like, if you're really trying to push your skill cap to improve, then this is where like the map is doable, right? I think if you're getting like 84 to 89%, right? Like the map is doable, it's definitely doable, but there's definitely also a lot of room for improvement. So yes, there's a couple exceptions for like different skills that like this rule of thumb applies to. I think it mostly applies to pretty much everything. Oh, next map, by the way. This map is very good. Okay, so yeah, in general, I think that rule of thumb of like taking maps that you get B ranks on and pushing them to become A ranks, I think that pretty much applies to any skill except, okay, so two main exceptions. And for reference, by the way, I will be using terminology that was introduced in my video named OCPhD. If you have not seen that video, that'll be linked in the card in the top right corner, but please go watch that video first and then come back to this one. So anyway, okay, welcome back those of you who left to watch OCPhD, except it's probably nobody because who actually does that when the video tells you to watch another video. Anyway, okay, so the two main exceptions to this B rank thing is, one is, I would say, high AR. Oh wait, no. Yeah, so one is high AR, and I can't read apparently because I thought, actually, you know, okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep talking. So, one exception, high AR. I would say if you can't read the AR, then what is it? Yeah, if you can't read the AR, then obviously you're just going to be hitting late on everything, and you're probably just going to get like somewhere in the 70s even in accuracy, and just misreading everything, like not knowing that certain rhythms are there, like not expecting a triple or a stream or something like that. Like you're just going to be all over the place if you can't read the AR. So, but like as you learn the map, like if you play the map enough times, then you obviously get more comfortable with it. I think like you have to expose your brain to that approach rate enough times, and then like your brain will sort of get used to processing patterns at that speed. But until that happens, like you're gonna end up hitting late on everything, I would say, which leads to probably lower than B rank scores, even though it's like the right difficulty to challenge you. That's like that you should be challenging yourself on. So yeah, I would suggest like, okay, so for high AR specifically, oh, and by the way, okay, short plug, cliffhanger on my answer. I am doing a series of interviews on high AR, interviewing different top players on the topic of high AR in particular, so reading speed, things like that. So if you're interested in that, that'll be hosted over at OC University, which I'm not sure if I've actually talked about it in these episodes, but OC University, this basically improvement-focused OSU hub. Wait, no, I have talked about it, I think, in one episode, but anyway, yes, we host different events. It's overall a very welcoming community to anyone looking to improve in this game. So, and I am one of the main people behind it. I actually made it. So, yeah, strong advocate for OC University. You guys should all check it out. But yes, throughout this next coming week, we will be doing interviews with different top players on high AR. So, look forward to that. And if you are watching in the future, then check out the OC University YouTube channel. That's where the interviews will be uploaded. But anyway, enough about that. Okay, so yeah, I would say, oh no, I don't remember what I was gonna say. Okay, I'm just gonna keep talking and then I'll probably remember. So okay, that's a bit awkward. Okay. So for training high AR, okay, I was talking about high AR. Man, I wish I could like pause and just like check what I was talking about. Why do I just like put cliffhangers in my answers when I can't even remember what I was gonna say? Okay, I remember. So the thing about high AR is okay, so for picking maps that are like the right difficulty for you, I would say okay, so if the only challenging aspect of that map is the AR being high, like if by all other means you would be able to play that map comfortably, then I think it's okay to keep playing that map, try to memorize it if you need to get comfortable at that approach rate. And then yeah, then over time, like I said, you'll sort of start to become more comfortable with the AR. And yeah, but I think if you're really trying to push like multiple skills at once, I think it's most common that like if the AR is too high for you, then the BPM is probably too high for you. Maybe you're using double time or something like that. But yes, there's more I can say on high AR, but that's probably more topic for another video. So yes, let's see. Okay, map number 3. Hanger, Hollow Wings, very good mapper. Anyway, yeah, so that is sort of my recommendation for high AR. But yeah, honestly, I think overall, I'm a pretty strong advocate for like isolating skills in this game. And like if you're able to isolate a certain skill, I think that's very, very powerful. So, although you probably could already assume that with Osu PhD as well as like all the different fundamental things that I have developed, auto method, Flamingo method, things like that. But anyway, okay, so the other exception to the whole B-ring thing is probably accuracy, like raw accuracy ability, because that is more about like squeezing out every last 100 of a run, and like trying to like fix every single accuracy mistake that you're making. So that's more, I think, about like going from like 98% on a map to like 99, and then 99.5, and then all the way up to SS. I think really tryharding for accuracy is the way to improve like your raw accuracy mechanics. Although there's a difference between that and like improving another skill that was holding your accuracy back. Like if your raw speed was not very good, and so you couldn't play speed maps comfortably, and then all of a sudden, obviously if you get better tapping speed, then you're going to get better accuracy. So, but that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking more about just like your raw mechanics or like raw accuracy ability. That is definitely more about just playing maps that you've already sort of played, or that you already have good scores on, and keep pushing those scores up to SS. I think some people probably advise against that. If you've heard people say the opposite or suggest the opposite, I think the reason is because training raw accuracy is only one skill out of like many, and you sort of, okay, so the thing is that like when I suggest playing maps to like maps that you get B ranks on and trying to improve them up to A ranks, you can try to improve those scores past A ranks as well, but the problem is like you sort of start to get diminishing returns in like just the raw amount of skill cap that you gain. So yeah, I would say for like raw accuracy, okay, so yeah, raw accuracy is like the only exception. That skill continues to develop, but pretty much nothing else does. And people say it's like, oh, it's a waste of time. You're not really improving much when you keep playing maps that you can already nearly SS. And that's for the most part true. Only exception is raw accuracy. So if accuracy is something that you really value, which personally I did, I think it also sort of refines your fundamentals. But you can also refine fundamentals with, fundamentals practices. Cough, auto method. You should watch episode 25. Auto method. Okay. Side note: I'm glad that episode 25 is an easy number to remember, because then I probably won't forget it when I mention the auto method video in future episodes. But yes. So those are the two exceptions to skill cap pushing. Okay, this video was originally going to be like what types of maps you should play and avoid, and then it just became like how to do skill cap pushing. But no problems, right? It's still kind of related. But okay, let's see. Other things about types of maps to avoid. I think honestly, like all that's coming to mind right now is like just circles back to like songs that you like. If you don't like the song, you don't need to play it. There's this long stream practice map thingy, long stream only for you. I started using this map set again recently to train my streaming, but a lot of the songs, so I actually didn't mind the songs that much. Like I'm usually not very picky when it comes to like in practice maps. Like I just sort of drill them, and like I don't really care about like how comfortable it is, because the whole point of like raw practice is that it's uncomfortable, right? But I was live streaming this stream practice on twitch.tv/digitalhypno, by the way. Stream every single day. But anyway, I was streaming this and someone mentioned in the chat that I should just change the song, and that's why I'm not doing well. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I'm gonna change the song. And then all of a sudden it just became way more fun. So even if you can tolerate bad songs, I think just like taking songs that you like. Okay, there's another one. Okay, Hibana. You may have seen my clip of this. Posted a clip of this on YouTube, but is it the wrong one? Where's Hibana? Oh no. This one? Yeah. So personally, I don't like the background. I also don't really like the song. The song is okay. I really don't like the background of this map. You can see it in the thumbnail, but I changed the background to some really troll one. I think it's from some Benson map, and I changed the song to Blue Zenith. Classic song. It's the same BPM, so it kind of matches. And that is, you know, that's what matters is that you're enjoying yourself when you play this game. Really for anything, I think you really have to be dedicated to it, like from within, right? Intrinsic motivations to improve, I think, will get you a long way. But yes. Anyway, it's a couple. I think play one more map. Actually, okay, I have two more maps actually. I'll play two more maps. Okay. Other advice about which difficulty should I play? Okay, Varvalian number 1. Varvalian's awesome player. Silver also awesome. Kublaze. Actually, all these players very cool. Anyway, only slightly biased just because of the players in the top of the leaderboard. But yeah, this map says very good. Classic. I think it's from 2013. Let me check. Yeah, 2013, 2014-ish. So, yes. Okay, so maps. Okay, maps specifically that you should avoid. I think. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I think the bottom threshold is like for like maps that are too hard for you. Is like if you can't even get 75% on a map, then that map is too hard for you. It's basically the same as trying to lift a weight that's way too heavy for you to even pick up. Like you're kind of wasting your time. It might be a good practice map for some people who are actually that strong, or actually that good at OSU / continuing with the whole weightlifting analogy. But yeah, if you can't get at least 75%, then you're better off playing something else and going back to that map after you've improved more. Like if you ever watch top players like playing a certain really crazy hard map to practice, like OMG CookieZ is playing this. Oh yeah, maybe CookieZ is not even. Oh shit, misread. Maybe not even the most modern example, but CookieZ or OMG Emrek or White Cat. Okay, actually, if I say those players, this episode might not age well. But anyway, my favorite top player is playing like this 9-star map, 10-star aim map to improve, and OMG is doing so well. Like if I just play this 10-star aim map too, then I'll be so good. Actually, I remember, like I think this is like 5 years ago or 6 years ago. I was just like trying to farm. Like it was like pretty much all I did when I played this game was just like trying to farm, and my brain is like okay. Anyway, so I had this idea. I was like, okay, if I just pick one map per day and I just like grind that map for the entire session, then eventually I'll just get lucky and I'll get the FCU, right? At some point during the session, if I just keep playing the map. And that playstyle did not last very long. It was a failed attempt at playing this game, I feel like. Yeah, a lot of top players, really I think players in general, when they're going for scores, they just like cycle through like a bunch of different maps and they try them each like 2 or 3 times max. And then if they don't get it, then they just move on to another map. Valid way to play the game. Also, some people get afraid of what's called mind block, which is basically like you kind of stop reading the pattern, and like you can't play the pattern anymore, even though you used to be able to play it very comfortably. So, speaking of mind block, by the way, and also speaking of OSU University, I did a series of interviews on mind block already. So you can check that out at OSU University YouTube channel. Also on Spotify, very cool. If you're watching the far future, there might be even more interview topics. So far, I've done a topic on nerve control, interview week on nerve control, interview week on mind block, and then now this week we're doing interviews on high AR. So it's very exciting. OSU University is an awesome place. I also offer OSU coaching there if anyone would be interested in that. But yes, anyway, okay, last map, the episode. So, other things about maps to avoid. Okay, so I might go more in depth on this on an episode where I talk about like how to warm up properly. But basically, like I think okay, so specifically for warming up, you can really warm up with anything in this game. Personally, I like warming up with fundamentals because it sort of it gets you to train and refine your fundamentals, and also what is it? It also like warms up those fundamentals as well, which I think is really key for, you know, focus and raw comfort, stability in the rest of your session. So but yes, anyway, I think really the only thing that you shouldn't play as warm-up is like those maps that you can only actually do when you are warmed up. If that makes sense. Like if you know that like you can stream like 200 BPM, but only when you're really warmed up, then you probably shouldn't play 200 BPM maps to warm up. You should probably ease your way up a little bit. I know some people say like, oh, I warm up with like if my maximum is 200 BPM, then I like warming up with like 230 or like something faster so that I can go back down and it feels slower. I think that's okay, but at the very least you should like do some hand stretches or something like that to prevent yourself from like, because I think like when you're not warmed up and you're playing something that's too hard for you, then like naturally I think you're gonna start like tensing up your fingers a lot, or like tensing your hands to try playing it properly. But I think you want your hands to be loose, as loose as possible, and like comfortable, you know, relaxed, stuff like that, to avoid injury. So yeah, that is my advice for that. Don't play maps that are too hard for you, basically. There's this sort of sweet spot, especially if you're just playing to improve. Then yeah, I would recommend having a collection of maps that you get B ranks on, and try working on those maps every now and then to see if you can improve those scores to A ranks. And then once you feel like you can get an A rank somewhat consistently, then I would say move that map out of your collection and move on to something that's harder for you. So yes, that is that. But yeah, overall for like the different types of maps in the game, like aim map, stream maps, tech map, things like that. If you what is it? It really depends on what kind of player you want to be. If you really want to be well-rounded, which is like able to play anything, then probably you should spend most of your time on like the kind of map that you're weakest on, and just be careful not to only play your weaknesses and like completely neglect your strengths. I think I've mentioned this in a previous episode as well, if you like, but yeah, if you neglect your strengths for too long trying to train something, then that strength is just going to become your new weakness. So just be careful about that. Like people, I think that happens to a lot of people, especially with high AR. Like they can't read AR10, so they spend some time only ever playing AR10, and then all of a sudden they can't read under it. So very scary position. I don't remember if I missed or not in this score. Did I? Okay, no. Okay, we're good. So only a little risky to submit a score like that. I completely did not know. But yes, anyway, hopefully this episode was somewhat helpful. As usual, all the maps that I played in this episode will be linked in the description. And yes, if you have episode topics, or episode topic suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I do read all the comments. Or if you just want to say hello, drop a comment. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you made it all the way to the end of the episode, then you were awesome. That is also good for the YouTube algorithm. So yes, but anyway, with that, if you guys are watching in the future, definitely check out my channel, check out my future episodes. I upload these every single day. So yes, and lastly, as usual, I live stream every single day over at twitch.tv/DigitalHypno. I would be very, very happy to see you guys there. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll see you guys next time.